I'm Tom Frank.
I'm Biz.
I'm the head coach, Coach Curley.
And this is your Juniata men's basketball show. Welcome, listeners. I'm Tom Frank, and I'm joined each and every week by Drew Beskett, a.k.a. Biz, and your head basketball coach here at Juniata, Coach Curley, as we talk all things Juniata men's college basketball. It's been a little bit of time since we've all been on here. I'm feeling a little rusty. I went out and played a little golf for the first time in a long time. Yeah.
You probably played better than I did.
My like kind of lower neck hurts a little bit right now.
You always did swing hard.
I like to
swing hard. You may not have connected, but you swung hard.
I was going to say, that doesn't sound like a natural swing then.
I'll tell you what,
you're hurting there.
I hit the ball far. Not always accurate, but very far.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah. So what's going on? What's the latest? What's happening at Juniata?
Well, school starts here, I think 2.5 weeks. We just finished day camp last week. So we had a really good camp seasons. We had a very successful team camp. Pretty much all our returners were back and one first-year guy. And then this past week, we had 5 of our incoming guys work day camp. We had a really good turnout, really good week at camp. Thought the guys did a good job. So we're kind of ready to go. Guys only have, I was looking at it before we got on here, 2 weeks left in our summer program. Then they take a week off, and then they'll be on campus.
When do we do the lift test?
I think move-in is August 23rd.
Yeah, when are we going to do the lift competition?
Well, the mile test is on August 27th, Biz.
What does that mean, a mile test?
What's the time we got to get?
Yeah.
So 5:45 for our post players and
wait.
5:30 for our guards.
5 as in minutes?
Yeah.
Not hours. Son of a bitch. All right. I'm out.
So
what do the coaches have to run?
Yeah, do you have to run it?
I've made my mile time in the past. I've always made my mile time.
In the past, but how about in the present?
What is your mile time?
I don't have a mile time now. I think my best, I was trying to think about it, was either 5:07 or 5:12. I can't remember. I always did pretty well.
Dude, I'm lucky if I can break 11.
I don't know if I buy that.
What?
5:07?
Well, I think 5:07 was Mike Hauser, who's actually assistant coach at State College, but he was a 6'8" post player, but he was thin. He could
You're
run.
You're talking about like back in your day, right? Like,
yeah, so I'm talking about back in my day. But I mean, I haven't run.
I don't think
anymore.
You could do
run is too hard on the joints, man.
Yeah, I don't think you could do sub 7 minutes.
Oh, now?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's not, honestly. The mile time is not actually very accurate at judging or tracking conditioning overall. It's more kind of a mental toughness accountability metric that, guys are going to go do it. Because, I mean, sprint endurance in basketball is a little bit different than that. I even played with some guys that would just show up and run it. Now, that's not what we're hoping these guys did, but they are in such good shape where they are nuts enough they could just go run it, pay the price afterwards, and make their time. So it's a little bit of a mix. That's why we just think where we sit right now, we needed to do that. We thought coming out of last year, one of the things, which I'm sure our guests could talk about, is, a lot of our freshmen just don't understand the conditioning level, and, they're not big enough, strong enough. They're not where they need to be. And I thought that really hurt us a lot last year. We just weren't in enough shape.
So
are there hills involved with this mile?
Is this a flat mile? Is it around the track? Is it?
Yeah. So the mile time is on the track, but our conditioning days consist of hills. We're big into hills, some 120s, some splits on the track. We do something we call 2-mile runs. So we'll rotate those things through, and we've done it at different times. We've adjusted based on where we think our group is and what we needed to do. But we thought right now this needed to be a major emphasis. So
now, what if they don't make the time? Yeah.
So
they cut immediately?
No. So the 27th, this is all with a strength coach, so it's legal. We can't be with them, but they'll run the mile on the 27th. If they make the mile, they've made it, and then they'll just continue with conditioning. As long as they hit some basics, we'll be fine. Then we'll test actually October 1st, which will be our first practice. And that'll be with us as coaches because we can be with them. And if they don't make it, then they'll keep running it until we think they're in shape. So we'll run we'll practice 4 days in a row because these are the 8 days we're allowed out of the season. So the first we'll practice, then we'll come back and practice. I think like the 8th, they'll run the mile then. If they didn't make it, then the 15th is the first official day of practice. They'll run the mile then if they didn't make it. So It's just how many times do you want to run it, and how hard do you want to run it, and do you want to run it?
You got to make it the first time.
Tom,
and so
I
those first days of practice, the guys that have made the time, they'll be in the gym doing skill workouts, and the guys that didn't will be down on the track running. So it's a pretty easy choice. And some guys it's harder than others. I mean, that's why it's not a fair measure. I mean, we have some guys that this fits, and we got to be careful. One of the reasons we didn't do it for a number of years is, we had some guys, the mile times don't equate to who plays and who can win games. I mean, it's a component, but it's a small percentage piece. We're not running track. I tell guys we're also not, we're not Andrew Biffle here in the strongman competition. We got to be a better basketball team, and I think that's obviously what we have to improve at. And honestly, with kind of the skill world now and the work guys put in, getting them connected with the fact that the whole idea is we put it together to be a better basketball team. I mean, these are elements of that need to be done to be successful. It can be a challenge, but this is just one of those metrics, and it's an accountability metric along the way to help us get where we need to be so that we're ready to play our best and improve throughout the season.
I think he needs to pull from the movie Miracle, and just again, they don't get it again right after. Just you got to keep running all day if you have to.
Yeah, I think you measure the third mile, not the first one.
Well, that's true.
That's my take on it. Just thought.
Honestly, we tested, the guys tested before they went home in the spring, and a lot of our returners, there's a couple pretty natural guys there. So I think we're on track, and I don't think we'll have too many problems as long as guys are putting the work in at the level that you need to put it in. But conditioning is a huge thing in terms of learning. Preseason practice, if you're out of shape, you're tired all the time. If you're tired, you can't learn. If you can't learn in the preseason, we're beat before we even start. And so that's something we've always emphasized here. You have to be in shape to learn, to be able to pay attention. And we have to make sure we follow the plan we have. So, this isn't about just getting the mile. If you do it the wrong way, you increase chances of injury and doing things the wrong way. So we want to do it to decrease chance of injury and to maximize our ability to focus and concentrate and learn. So that's obviously going to be really, really important for us. Again, I think the experience our guys have now coming in from last year, I think they're all on board with understanding how important this is, that the weight room has been very important for us. Conditioning level is very important for us, but it's only as good as we put it together in terms of playing basketball.
That explains my grades in college. I was never in shape, so no wonder I didn't learn anything.
Yes, Biz.
Be in shape to learn, Biz.
I think a few of the behaviors were probably counterproductive to your physical conditioning. Is that fair?
Majorly counterproductive.
Biz.
But look at you now, Biz. You
Yeah.
made it through, didn't you, buddy? Perseverance.
Hey, here I am,
natural
man.
intelligence. He's just natural intelligence.
That's
Like
right.
Tom's
Natural
golf
intelligence.
swing.
I grew up
It's
in
like
Lamont.
Tom's
Street
golf
smarts, baby. Street
Oh,
smarts.
yeah.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Good old Lamont. All right. I think we should just get it right into our guest.
Yeah, why not?
All right. I got a good intro for him. Wrote this somewhat myself. I got a little help from Curley. So we got a very special guest with us today. Someone who left a serious mark on the program and continues to rep the blue and gold with pride. Please help us welcome Seth Brewer. Juniata basketball class of 2018. Seth's a Lancaster guy. Mannheim? Is that how you say it? Mannheim town? Is Mannheim where? What's in Mannheim? Why do I know Mannheim? Is that where Spooky Nook is?
Yeah. It's very close. It's also where Seth Brewer's from. That's probably
But I
why,
mean, when you go to Spooky Nook, it says Mannheim and Seth Brewer there. So I do know that place. He was a 4-year starter at point guard for the Eagles during his time here. The team racked up 64 wins, earned its first ever national ranking, won a regular season title, and set the school record for wins in a season with 23. Not bad.
That was a great season.
Not bad. As a senior, Seth earned first team all-conference honors and was named Landmark Conference Defensive Player of the Year, the only player in Juniata men's basketball history to bring home that award. Over his career, he put up some incredibly efficient numbers, just under 50% from the field, 38% from deep, 81% from the line, and he did it all while dishing out 3 assists per game and snagging at least a steal a game. Steady, smart, and competitive through and through. Since graduating, Seth started his career in the insurance world, but recently made the move into education. I think this is correct. This could have been another Seth Brewer. Now is heading into his second year teaching accounting and marketing at Palmyra Area High School. And as of January, Palmyra? I never heard of it. We're going to talk about that school. And as of January, he's a proud new uncle. So please welcome the one and only Seth Brewer.
Welcome.
Hey, guys.
Uncle
Thanks
Seth.
for having me. Thanks for having me.
That's an impressive
Uncle
resume
Seth.
right there.
I appreciate that. You did a good job with that write-up.
That might be one of the
Better than
most
I could've.
impressive ones that we've
Yeah.
read.
Really?
A lot of
Well, thank you.
yeah, a lot of bullet
Yeah.
points on that one. That was good.
A lot of bullet points.
It is pretty tough to top. One of the ways Seth knows it, right? I sat you down, said the way we measured success for guards in our program is how many games you win. So it's pretty hard to walk away and say he didn't do as good a job as he could do. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, we got to rewind here. I want to go to the beginning.
All right.
Why in the world did you choose?
This is always a great question.
That is a great
I don't mean it in
question.
a bad way. I mean it in a positive way.
It's a great
No,
way to
yeah.
start.
Right.
Why
Quite honestly,
Juniata?
I didn't hear of Juniata before I got recruited, and I was down to 5 schools. They were all Division III schools, and Juniata actually came in with the lowest offer, so it was the most affordable school. That's kind of
Really? That's
what really pushed me there. I was surprised too. It's because I'm from like the Lidditz area, so the Gibbles are family friends, and
the
they
Gibble.
gave me a nice little scholarship. Yeah,
Nibble with
the
Gibbles,
main
baby.
Gibble. Yeah, you can't
Ugh.
hate on that.
No, you can.
Can we ask what the other schools were? I'm just out of curiosity. Who did we beat out?
It
remember?
was Misericordia, Marywood was up there. Penn State Harrisburg was probably the biggest competitor because I thought that was going to be the cheapest school. And yeah, those were really the main 4. It was between Penn State Harrisburg and Juniata then. Those were the final 2. Yeah.
And you made it to Juniata. Now, where did Coach play a role here? Did he sway you?
played
Did
a
he
huge
maybe
role. Him and
did he-
Hager.
Hager?
Coach
So
Hager,
Hager
too.
recruited you?
Yeah, so that's when I took my visit there. Hager showed me around, and then I stayed with Jake Close and Trevor. So
Trevor
it was
Clune.
Trevor Clune. And then Dennis Fisher and Braden Becker were big parts of that visit as well. So they showed me the ropes a little bit. And when I got on campus, I loved it. I thought it was a beautiful campus. Never heard of Huntington, Pennsylvania before going there.
But you weren't that far away, though. I mean, it wasn't that. Well, it's not that far.
That's far
Like
enough.
2 and a half.
2.5.
Yeah,
All
Central
right.
PA. Because I didn't have a reason to go to Central PA. I've always had AAU tournaments in the Philly area or down in Baltimore. So those were kind of the directions I was going mainly. But yeah, and then Curley obviously had a significant impact on me ultimately choosing to go there and playing. He just preached that, hey, we work really hard. We're going to play man-to-man defense, which I always loved, mano-a-mano. And then I would also have a chance to play right away because coming in my freshman year, there were no seniors on the team.
Wow.
So that role, that job was up for grabs, basically.
Wait a minute now. We got to talk about that for a second. So the year you came in, how many guys, because you came in with a pretty big class, right?
Yeah, we started with almost a dozen, I think, and then it slowly just dwindled. As it always does. Yeah. Because people think it's, I can play Division III hoops. It's not going to be that big a deal. But no, it's ultra competitive and it's a time commitment. It's like a part-time second job, basically, on top of your studies. So a lot of guys can't handle that commitment. So they teeter out early.
Why were there no seniors?
That's a great question.
Well,
I think it was because the class before them, that was Shally and Hayes and all those guys. Luke, Pat.
It's the same cycle. He was, and so it's very similar to our group that's a rising sophomore group right now. I mean, his freshman year, they had a few more pieces with them and were a little bit more successful, obviously, but very similar in terms of we've had this open class ever since I got here. When I got here, my second year, we had no seniors. We had an empty class when I came here. And it's been very hard to work out of that because you're always having to get a lot of guys to fill those gaps. And you get to those years and now you have 3 classes. So that 4th class, it's harder to recruit guys because they don't see a lot of opportunity. If you're open and honest with guys, you say, hey, listen, like when Brewer was a senior, it was like, hey, we got 6 guys that are playing. I mean, unless you're like All-American when you walk on campus, which has not happened here, it's going to be hard to play a lot. You're going to have to be patient. And that's that's not what guys want to hear. I mean, if we had said that to Seth, I don't know that we're as far down or as far up on his list, because he knew he could play and he wanted an opportunity to play right away. So it's just kind of working through that. And it's kind of stuck with us in that cycle every time. It's part of why we have to build, but it's also the opportunity, because you can get a group and a young group together and get them to play and work through it together. And that's why I think in the end you can be even better. And that's how they had the senior year they did.
Right, so where are you in that cycle right now? You said
They just kind of got through it.
Yeah, we just got through it. That's why when we had the 8 seniors
Yeah.
to recruit, to replace all those guys, we kind of had to work through that stuff, but it sort of keeps happening. So like if you look at our senior class this year, we only have 2 seniors. And so the empty class,
the 3 last year.
Well, that empty class in there is what hurts you. And it, you want to have you need to be strong through the upper class. It's not just seniors. You need juniors and seniors and to work through that. And that's how they were consistently good. I mean, we've had these just classes like his where there's 4 or 5 starters the whole way through the 8 guys we did. I'm not sure I'd change it. I think it's, again, the high end. It's made us better, right? Because we've had so much cohesion and so much opportunity. But in an ideal world, right, you'd want to play like 2 seniors, two freshmen, 2 sophomores, 2 juniors, and have 8 guys playing and just keep rolling them through. I don't think that's how it usually hits for us. Part of it is, again, no scholarships. You can't just target the position you want or what the guy looks like or what you want at that position. So a lot of times it's get as many guys that fit what we're trying to do and the direction we're trying to go, be open with them about their opportunities, and then let things fall where they may. And that's why it's kind of, when, like Seth said, it often feels like a whittling away process, but that's not intentional. It's just the realities of competition and kind of scholarship, right? So if we have scholarship for an NIL school, we're bringing in 8 or 9 guys. That's who we're paying, and they're playing. And that's the way it is. So it's different at our level.
So you came in as a freshman, you play right away. That freshman team, how many freshmen started? Or was it just you?
No, Marcus came in with me. So
Marcus came in with you. Okay.
Yeah, he started from the jump.
Wow, that's
and
a
then
great class.
Yeah, and I started the first half of the year, and then we wanted to go a little bit more, I guess, experienced the second half. So I came off as like 6th man. I still finished every game, which I always thought was way more important than starting the game. So I didn't mind that.
Totally.
And I can't complain about playing time my freshman year. But as Curley was mentioning before you guys introduced me, I wasn't physically ready, I don't think. I was in shape and I worked really hard, but I wasn't big and strong. I probably weighed 160 pounds at 6'2", so it was tough for me to put on weight. I wish I would have hit the weight room a little bit more. Then I could have played, I think, longer stretches my freshman year and really helped us more. But ultimately, I think it was a great experience for me, and I, once again, can't complain about the playing time I got.
So wait, now run down your class. So it's you and Marcus.
And Damon and Will. That's who
Damon and Will. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's who we finished with. We had some other guys that contributed a little bit when came in as freshmen, but they all ended up either transferring out or just
went away.
Yeah, just kind of fell off. As can happen.
Yeah. Wow, that's a good class though.
Yeah.
64 wins as a class. And that's the most. Is that nobody else has done that? Curley?
I didn't add that up. I'm pretty sure that's up there.
That's got to be.
I think at the time he graduated, it was up there, but I don't. Raymond's class was pretty close. We've had a couple that are close.
Yeah.
But it's going to be top 2 or 3, I'm sure.
First national ranking. How many national rankings in the history of Juniata have?
In basketball?
Yeah.
That was it. That's the only one.
That's it. Just that one
time.
time.
I've ever been ranked. Yeah.
There was no team since then that has been nationally ranked?
No. I mean, and honestly, I mean, that's what, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. It's relatively recent when you think about the other 110 years before that. But no. And it was short-lived, right?
Yeah, of course we lost the next game after.
Did you really? You lost the next game? And then that was it. So it was a blip.
Yeah,
I remember that though, actually.
I mean, we started that season, we won 12 straight games. That's a school record. Matter of fact, we did not trail in a half for 12 straight games. So we won every half for 12 straight games, which is that's tells you how good that team was. We should have been ranked earlier. We should have been ranked longer. I think the way we finished the season and the way we handled the league says where we were. But again, if you haven't ever been ranked, do you get ranked, right? So it's very, very hard to break through in those situations. I think we've had a couple other teams that were playing at that level as well that probably warranted that kind of consideration. But those are the things you kind of fight when you're at a place like this. I think it says even more that they accomplished that and then finished the season. I mean, the biggest thing that year is we won the one and only regular season championship in the history of the school, which we can talk about conference playoffs and championships. I'm sure we will. Those are one thing, the 2-game shot, but doing that, winning a regular season is by far the hardest thing to do.
See, that's why I think that should be the criteria to get it.
Yeah, I'm still all about the tournament. You get the position and you get in with the regular season, and then you got to make it happen.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah,
we
conference
benefited-
championship.
The conference
France.
championship that year, then
That was our only home loss that year.
Yeah.
That was
Just looked at
heartbreaking.
that.
in
Yeah,
the championship game,
in the championship game.
only home loss.
Yes.
Well, that's
And
devastating.
we led probably the majority of that game. We led probably till about 5 minutes left. One of the major factors in that, and I think our next guest we're going to have on the next podcast, Brandon Martinez, he played on that team, but he had a hand injury. I believe his thumb was injured. And when we played Moravian, who pressed and did those things all the time, when we played him with Brandon was like a one man. Like if you tried to press him, he was going to score on you every time.
Every time.
And he was probably, I mean, he just couldn't be effective offensively. He still had a decent night, but it really, really kind of hurt us. We still had the lead, and they were a good team. But yeah, we came up short. They pressed and ran the entire game. We were probably one guy short there, and that was probably the injury we had. Seth's team wasn't particularly deep. We probably played like 7 guys when it got late in the season. And for that one matchup, that may not have been the best circumstance, but really only because Brandon was injured. If Brandon's healthy, we're fine. But, that's why you need depth, and that's all the things that happen. That sounds like an excuse, but it's what happened. And they're really good. I mean, Moravian's really good.
What was the final score? I'm sure you guys remember. Was it a close? Did it come down to a bucket, or did they pull away at the end?
No, it came down to the last 2 minutes. I mean, we honestly turned the ball over with a minute left. That kind of sealed the game. I think that put them up 6 because it was like a pick 6, lay it in thing. And I think we had a little momentum. I think we needed to just go down and score, and it's probably a different game. But that's what they did, and we didn't handle it. So probably all coaching in the end.
Still, what a season, though. What a way to go out.
Yeah.
I will say Seth had a hell of a game that night. So I mean, I don't know the numbers, but I know it wasn't Seth's problem.
Just only a couple more buckets down the stretch. That's what we needed. So
looking back at it, what were some of the biggest wins? Was it that year, or were they from other years?
Probably that year. One game that I didn't play particularly well in was the Randolph-Macon game. And that's really what solidified us, I think, getting ranked ultimately. Played them at home, and they were a pretty good team. I think their guard ended up being player of the year in D3, but he was a freshman.
Yeah, their freshman guard wound up, they won a national championship with him as point guard, and he wound up being the national player of the year.
Oh,
yeah. But they came into our place, and we handled them pretty well. They were not expecting that. I think Brandon had a great game. So it was just one of those years. I mean, I can't think of the biggest wins other than I think of it in just moments of the season where we had sustainability. We were just clicking on all cylinders and kind of just dealing teams. We had our way, and it was really teams did not want to play against us because they knew it was going to be a fight and they were going to get beat up, screens constantly. They weren't going to get an easy basket. Someone was always going to be in the right position to help. Those are kind of the things I remember more than just specific games that we won,
Yeah. And you were with you had some talented teammates. Who are the guys that really pushed you? Who are the guys that you think you became a better player having played with?
Obviously Marcus. He's right up there. Will and Damon too, of course. And then just in practice, when I got to compete against Brandon and Paul Martello, that was always fun because we weren't really taking any prisoners. I mean, we battled one-on-ones. It wasn't like, okay, just take 2 dribbles to the right and shoot a jumper. No, we were trying to beat each other day in, day out, which was annoying because if you got caught in any of those drills, you were just going constantly.
Yeah.
But it made us better in the end.
Iron sharpens iron, Tom.
So you've told us that, Biz.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know.
Love
So what was, there's a lot of young guys now, obviously, from year 1 to year 2. What was your biggest takeaway? Or what was the biggest thing that you took from year 1 to propel you into year 2 to really, take hold? Like, what are these guys? What should they be looking for? Or what advice would you give them between 1 and 2?
I would say stick with and trust the process. Get in the weight room, be conditioned, but then once you get on the court, work as a unit. Like just know that if you do your job right, the guy next to you also is going to do his job right. And once you feel confident with that and you can trust your teammates, then really the sky's the limit. Then it all just works together. And it's seamless. It's not even like you're really trying anymore. It's kind of just habits are built and you're just always in the right position, always just in kind of lockstep with your teammates.
And we'll be right back. Ready to launch your podcast? Merrick Studios offers comprehensive services from concept development and seamless production to strategic marketing and monetization. Let your story take the mic. Visit merrickcreative.com/studios and let's get to work. And now back to our show. If you had to sum it all up though, like in your group, because remember we've kind of been naming these different groups some different things. What's your group? What are we calling them?
What's my group? Oh, that's a good question.
Right? This is the team that has went the only in-season champs.
The only ranked team.
The only ranked team.
I don't know. Curley, can you help me out at all? What would we call our?
I'm not the label guy here,
the
man.
grade 8.
No, I'm not a very
the
good
grade
label
8
guy either.
The what?
Grade 8, the fearsome
7.
foursome.
Fearsome foursome.
Fearsome foursome.
The OGs. The
The
Godfathers.
OGs. I like that.
I mean, they also set the school record for wins. I mean, that's the standard bearers, right? They're the standard. Honestly,
Maybe
like
they're the standard.
The standard.
I kind of like the
I'll
standard.
take that.
The standard is the standard, as one great Pittsburgh Steelers coach once said.
The story I tell our team this every year. I tell it about Seth and Marcus going into their senior year, and I don't know if Seth remembers this, but the year before we went to the ECACs and we went to Westminster. Remember this, Seth? And the lights went out, and we were quite frankly a better team and did not play very well and didn't win the game. And a lot of the things that bother us, ball screen defense, which is a big deal these days. I remember in the offseason going through every option in the world, and I remember talking particularly to Marcus, but, what do you want to do? And these guys basically looked at me and said, Coach, we're not changing anything. What we did is fine. We have to go do it. And the level of accountability those two took for how we were going to do things, and it was like very clear to them in the offseason, we changed nothing. Like we were, 14, 13 or right in there somewhere. We are going to take a step because we're going to do what we do better. And they weren't looking for excuses. They didn't want outs. They just wanted to do better. And I always say the very first drill we did the next year in practice was ball screen coverage. And it was the best. It's the best drill I've ever been a part of. And it was Seth and Marcus. And from that, every time we did those drills the entire season, the level of intensity, the level of focus, and the demand for execution was as high as I've ever been a part of as a coach. And that right there set the tone for the entire season, the entire team, that there were no excuses. They didn't want bells and whistles. They didn't want like trick stuff to beat teams. As a matter of fact, they were adamant about they hated any of that stuff. They didn't They didn't want us to trick or do anything. It was like, Coach, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to do our thing. We're running motion man-to-man. I mean, Seth talked about it. Their group was a start. We didn't have a zone for 5 years, 6 years. And a part of it is they didn't want anything to do with it. They wanted to just go out and play, and the detail and the execution, and they demanded that of each other. But when you have, a guy that can score like Marcus and brings what he does, and you got a great point guard that manages, he's a team. I mean, one of the things that amazed me, he was Defensive Player of the Year in the league, and he only averaged a steal a game. That's crazy. Guys guards that are defensive players of the year usually average 3 or 4 steals a game. But Seth was just so dominant in terms of taking guys out of anything he wanted to take them out of. And we were the best defensive team in the league by a long shot. And he's the best defensive player, and that's how you get the defensive player of the year. And there was nothing fancy we did, right? I mean, anybody could tell you what we were going to do and where we would be, but our ability to do it consistently over and over again. But that was set by the attitude of particularly Seth and Marcus, that this is the way we're going to do it, and we're going to set the tone from day one. And that was kind of the standard they had. And they didn't care who we played. They didn't care what the situation was. They were always accountable to that stuff, and I've always appreciated it. I still tell that story now. Hopefully the young guys we have now are listening, because we have a long way to go in that area. Sitting here watching a lot of tape, as much tape as I ever watched this summer, there's a lot of things we do well, but we are, like he said, always being in the right place, being in position, being there. Like we have so far to go in that area. It's not funny. And that consistency and focus and the appreciation of detail, they both got what details meant. And that's not what all players get. And they were okay with that. And then inside that, they had an extreme, Seth and Mark, their level of confidence in themselves is earned, number one, but they never got into that stuff. They didn't care. They believed themselves, and they knew they were playing good players, good teams. They knew, part of it is both of them have been around really good players their whole life, and had seen it. You always know, like, the best Division III guy, and then the best Division I guy doesn't even think he exists. You can't worry about that stuff. But if you play, like you see in the TBT or something like that, there's some pretty darn good players at all levels. And I thought that kind of, like, soft-spoken confidence and belief, but then they understood the work you needed to put in and how you need to do it. Easiest group to coach ever, because you just had to tell them what to do and put them in it and rep and do that stuff. So that was, just a credit to these guys.
So that's still the only defensive player of the year you've ever had, right?
It's the only player of the year of any kind. So offensive player of the year, conference player of the year in the history of Juniata basketball. So he's the only player of the year.
How close was Marcus that year as offensive player of the year? Was he close or not?
He should have won it.
Yeah, player of the year that was Jay Howard that won. Is that right, Seth?
Yeah.
At Catholic. And that again goes with recognition. I think we've had that happen twice. I think Brian Cannon's senior year. Brian Cannon didn't get it his senior year. I forget. And I thought that was, like, probably name recognition a little bit. But, coaches vote for that, so I can't get into that. That's how coaches see it. I think part of it's probably our style of play, how we do things. I've always said, like, our numbers, because like, I was just looking at stuff like total fouls for a season and stuff, and I had to realize that, like, we don't have as many possessions all the time, so the numbers get skewed. And if you're just looking at numbers-based things, it doesn't stand out. But if you look a little deeper and you understand how and why those things happen. Yeah, or did O'Neal Holder get it, or was it it was Jay Howard, or who was it?
I think it was Jay Howard.
Yeah, he just put up such big numbers, but
yeah,
they didn't even.
Who did he play for? Catholic?
Yeah, but they finished third in the league. I mean,
we smoked them, and
and at that time they played a style where they ran everything through him, everything.
Yeah.
And so he was average. He was like fifth in the country in scoring. But we beat them, I think, 2 of the 3 times. And honestly, Marcus, particularly the playoffs here, but, you do the voting before the playoffs, not after playoffs. I think it's a bit of the circumstance, and those guys are great players. I mean, it's not taking anything away from those guys. Jay Howard was phenomenal.
Why are we doing it before the playoffs?
That's always that way, though. I mean,
that's
I like it. I can see it before the NCAA tournament, but not during the conference. The conference.
Yeah, I just think with coaching, I mean, you always take the regular season.
Talk to Katie about this.
I think we need to get the media involved in this vote.
Yeah, and I don't understand why coaches are doing it. Yeah, they should be more than coaches.
It should be
coaches are biased.
We have media credentials. We are media.
Yeah, I think we should have a role in this next year.
Hey, speaking of totally off the subject, but speaking of the TBT, didn't I see that a team of Division III guys beat Syracuse's TBT team?
They beat them multiple teams. They went to the I think the Final Four.
Did they this year? Nice.
We are D3.
About that.
That's impressive.
The only guy I recognize on the Christian Parker played for Mount Union. We played a few years ago. If you guys remember, we played at in the Barron tournament.
Oh yeah.
And I always ask the graduating guys who's the best player you've played or whatever. And a bunch of those guys, actually Tyler and Mason, when I talked to them, mentioned him, that they thought he was probably the best player they played for Mount Union. He's a legit player.
Go D3.
Yeah, all those guys are. Yeah, all those guys are over playing. They're all overseas guys, and I mean, it just goes to show the level of play and how good players are for this day and age.
All right, so we got to talk a little bit about post-college.
Post-college. He's Uncle
Well,
Seth.
right.
Your Uncle
Yeah,
Seth,
Uncle
you're now a
Seth.
teacher.
Not
You're
Seth
out of the
Greenberg.
insurance business. What do you do? What are you teaching?
I teach business education at Palmyra Area High School. So it's in Lebanon County. It's a small, well, I guess they were 4A in sports, relatively big. Probably graduates with like 200 a class. Uh, Actually, maybe even less than that, 150. But it was my first year, specifically accounting and sports entertainment and marketing.
Oh,
Yeah, what you would think would be a fun class to teach, but we have blocks, it's 70-minute periods. So keeping people engaged in a marketing class for 70 minutes can be kind of difficult. And it runs from freshmen to seniors also.
all right.
So that can be a struggle because the seniors at that point know kind of how to study and how to manage their time and do their work. So they finish things quicker than the freshmen do, but I still have to give the freshmen the adequate time to complete their assignments. So that was kind of a struggle, but accounting was pretty easy. Just out of a workbook, I'm up front showing them assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity, all that good stuff.
That sounds great.
Yeah,
That was not a great
it
class
gets a
for the
little
old biz.
redundant.
Now, are you dabbling into any coaching at the
Ooh,
high school?
coaching.
No, not yet. So
Do you
I
want
was
to?
asked to, possibly. I don't know if I would want to there because it's from where I live right now, it's a half hour away. So that's kind of would be annoying having to travel a half hour for Saturday practices and
Yeah.
game nights and stuff. If it was more local, maybe I would get into it, but I'm taking classes to get my teaching certificate. So right now I'm
Nice.
emergency certified. So I didn't want to jump into my first year teaching and career change while I'm taking classes and put coaching on top of that. I thought that would just be a lot to take on at once, but probably in the future, I'll definitely end up coaching at some point. I don't know what level yet or anything like that, but I'll for sure want to get into coaching.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't
And
we
how
start
much?
an
Go
AAU
ahead.
team and he can be our coach?
Here we
Yeah,
go.
and then it's a feeder program for
Feeder
Juniata.
program. I
That's
like
right.
it.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
let's
right.
do it.
Yeah, like an all-star state of Pennsylvania type team.
Yeah, have Marcus move back, Damon, get Damon on
why
the
not?
staff too.
Actually,
Yeah.
is there an age limit with the AAU? Let's just have them play.
Yeah, do that.
Dude, we
So
dominate. That'd be awesome.
we would dominate. Close have you stayed with the Juniata program? Do you get to see a lot of the games? Do you get back for? I know you come back for alumni weekend.
I come back for alumni weekend. I follow kind of how they're doing throughout the season. I don't catch too many games. I want to catch the E-Town game when they play out here this year. Last year I wasn't able to do so. So it's not really every game I'm sitting down and watching, but I'm tracking them, seeing what they're doing. And it's also tough because I don't know these guys very well. Like it was really easy after my senior year because I played with the guys that were coming up through. So I had a little bit more, I guess, buy-in to it at that point. Now it's a little bit tougher because I don't know the guys he's bringing in as well.
Yeah. What was your take on last year? We got to figure out how to what we got to do next year.
It was a tough season, I know, obviously. I thought they really battled during the alumni game. That was awesome. I wish they could have come
That was a
out with
fun
a W
atmosphere.
there.
That
It was a
great.
great atmosphere. That was a lot of
Thought
fun.
it was a lot of fun, high energy, and they played pretty well. It just came down to the end.
Damn, we needed that win. That would have.
No,
Yeah.
but they still ended up getting that win because
Yes.
Curley says the two hardest things to do are go completely defeated or undefeated.
You tried to make a run at it last
Yeah,
time.
let's give the other one a shot. Huh?
Yeah, let's go the other
We
way.
tried that with you guys.
Let's
But
flip
if you
it.
guys remember, one of the sounding boards after that night was Mr. Brewer and trying to keep us on track. And he had a lot of words where you could see his leadership come through there and how we needed to approach and what we needed to do. But I keep saying that night was a huge turning point for these younger guys. The experience of being around these guys and understanding. I think the support and they could feel what this thing means to a lot of people. And I thought that really helped us play a lot better basketball late in the year.
So what do you think? What's your advice to these guys going into this year? Like, how do they turn this thing around?
Gotta just completely buy in, 100%. There can't be 1 foot out the door. You gotta go fully into it and trust the process, as always. I know it's a common saying, but it's really true. You don't just half-ass stuff. You go 100% all the time, and you set the tone immediately. Definitely need to have leaders setting that tone specifically. Hopefully, it's your better players, the guys that are getting the minutes in games, because then that just falls down the line. You lead by example, know your assignments, know what you have to accomplish, and just go full bore at it.
Well said.
Are you hooping anymore? Are you playing at all? I
I
talked
am
to you about
not
that.
this summer. Yeah, I'm gonna play in the fall, but I'm not this summer because I played last year, but I was really only at the first half games because I had vacations going on. My girlfriend's family has a beach house, which is really nice. And now that I'm a
Yes.
So
teacher,
you have different priorities, is what you're saying.
yeah, right. Priority is to lay at the beach, try and get some sun.
Hey,
It's all right.
hey, Curls, there's courts down at the beach, man.
I know.
We ran on vacation.
Oh, I did that. I did that in the past for sure
All
when I
right.
was in
When
high
he
school
was
and
playing,
college.
Seth didn't. Yeah, he didn't miss too many.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
now you just drive by and say, "Remember when we played there?"
Yeah, exactly. It's a little
The
different.
outdoor courts of Ocean City, Maryland will never be the same.
That's right.
All right. I got some rapid fire questions here.
All right, let's do it.
All right. I got a couple of them. Number one, toughest landmark opponent during your time. A guy that you faced that
One
was your
player?
toughest. One player.
Probably Bryson Fonville. I would say he was the toughest. And then Steve, what's his last name? Steve W. from Stephen Weidlich from Susquehanna. But one guy, Bryson Fonville, he ended up playing overseas. I think he was in the G League for a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, he was tough. It was a difficult
Now,
cover.
did you have any, like when you were done, did you have any interest or was there any interest for you overseas or no?
No, I mean, I got one of those standard packets I feel like everybody gets where you can go like try out, do like an open kind of run in New York or something like that, but I didn't really think about it too much.
All right. Question number two. Best, craziest locker room
Ooh.
We're not
or road
regulated by
trip
the
or
FCC,
road trip.
so
Yeah.
fire away.
Or road trip.
Or road trip. I'll give you a
Well,
road
I would
trip.
say the craziest locker room moment was after we knew we clinched the regular season title. That was wild because Curly's energy came out there. We were dancing, having a great time.
Whoa. Was he dancing?
He danced a couple
Yeah,
times.
Curls. Let's see it. Come on. What do you got?
How many games from the end of the season did you guys clinch? Was it the last game or was it multiple? Was it games before?
I think it was the last game, right?
It was
Yeah,
the
it was
last game.
game
regular
'cause
season
we won, and then I think we needed like Catholic to beat whoever they were playing. I don't know if it was Moravian. We needed like another team to lose, and then we found out that it all aligns in our favor. So
I
that
think we
was
beat Drew,
fabulous.
right? We beat Drew that
Yeah.
day, and then found out.
You had to wait for somebody else to happen. Yeah.
We might have known going in because I think like we played at 4, and there might have been a 2:00 game, but I don't know. I mean, it was that was a fun one.
That was a blast. That's my favorite memory there.
Biggest clutch shot you ever hit?
Biggest clutch shot I've hit. That one's a tough one. I don't know. I feel like I was always assisting on some clutch shots that Marcus hit,
Well, that's fair. I'll
All
give
right.
you that.
more so than me getting one up. Because there were moments where we just had possessions and then we would get like a layup. So we'd have clutch possessions more so than like me kind of breaking down a guy and scoring.
All right.
All right. I got the last question for you. I mean, you got to give us your Mount Juniata.
You know the drill.
I mean, you know the drill. I want your perspective on this because this is going to be an interesting one.
So what is that 4-5?
We make it 5.
Make it a starting
You make
five.
it
Yeah.
5.
We make it a starting
Starting
5
5
of all time.
of all time.
Yes.
I gotta go Marcus, of course. I'll put Shawls up there because he was our assistant coach. Put the Hall of Famer Hayes in there.
Okay.
Got to put myself in there.
Yeah,
just
why not?
because
Yes. Is he the first
me
one to
and
put
Marcus
himself
got a
in?
ride. Come on.
He might be the first person to put himself in, and I appreciate you doing that.
I knew
No,
Tom
that
would
was
love
good. I
that.
mean,
That's why
he
these
earned
guys
it.
won some games too. Let's put
He
it. I
earned it.
told
Get
you.
that confidence. But I will say that Depoy award was our team award. We were the best defensive team by
Yeah.
far, and I was just happened to be the head of that snake. So that was all in the team. It wasn't just me there. And then who do I want at the 3?
It's a big one.
This is a big one.
We got one more, right?
Yeah, one more.
Well, it's got to be. Said Cannon was up for Player of the Year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cannon.
All right.
That's a strong 5.
That is a strong 5.
No offense to the other point guards out there, other guards
man.
out there for putting me in there.
Biz, I'm willing to say right now, I'll take that 5, and you can have the rest of Juniata history
Wow.
in the alumni game next week, and they're next year.
Those 5. Well, Cannon's
take
not playing,
those
so
5.
You got 4.
All right,
You're
so I
down
have
to
to
4.
substitute. I have to substitute somebody for Cannon.
Charlie needs to come.
Yeah,
this
that's right. Because
time.
Charlie's never
I'll play
played.
Marcus Grant.
He can't
hasn't
though, 'cause
played-
of high school. Like his high school.
You can't risk.
He can get
Risk
away
getting
for
hurt.
one Saturday. He's a coach. He can get hurt.
Yeah. What if he has a game?
Well, we got to schedule better.
All right. Maybe
That's
we
on
need to do
Curley.
a summer version.
Maybe it's like a Rocky.
Hey, the alumni game is going to be
a
late.
playground.
We haven't named the date.
We're going to a playground.
The alumni game is going to be late this year. It's going to be in February because we have no January home Saturday games. So
Oh, really?
Whoa!
it's
So
gonna
we
be
got
later
to.
this year.
Do we have an announcement yet on when the date is?
I have to check with Coach Hager and see exactly what date we've landed on. But we just had that conversation last
Let's
week.
make it
He let me know.
Valentine's Day. How sweet would that be?
Actually, it might be if I remember, but I don't know this.
Not official yet. Not official. When are we going to break down the schedule? When is the official schedule penciled, done?
Well, it's got to be
In
like right
stone.
before the season, right?
The schedule is done. I can get it to
It
you
is
guys,
done?
but I think we have one more alumni guest lined up, right, for our next one at the end of the month here, and then
Okay.
then I would assume that's the transition into the
And then we
preseason
unveil
stuff, right? Yeah.
the very early review of the schedule. It's
I have
gonna
to
be
get
tough
some of the
one.
returners on and
What's
go
one
from there.
nugget you can give us? Let's
About
do a
the
tease.
schedule?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there like a team that we don't expect to be playing? That
Well,
we're
Are you
I think
starting with those dudes that we play every year? What the hell?
Our first 3 league games, I believe, are Susquehanna Catholic and Drew.
He's talking about, what's the non-league team?
Yeah,
that's
who's
on
that
the
team
A?
that-
Opener, I think our opener is Friday, November 7th against Mount Aloysius. It's a home game. So
Ooh,
yeah.
that's not who we normally play. It's the team with the A. What are they? That you played back to back.
Alvernia.
Yeah, no, we've changed up a little bit of the off non-league in Mount Aloysius, AMCC. So Penn State Altoona is not on the schedule, but it's
No,
No,
Penn
Penn
State
Altoona.
Altoona.
well, we
Ooh.
flipped them out, and Mount Aloysius isn't really any farther away. It just by the time we started working through the dates, now we need to lay things out. It's set up a little bit different.
Now,
So,
did you grab Hager and shake him a little bit and say, because I remember at the beginning of last year, the schedule, you predicted it, came in, you said this is a tough schedule.
Coming in
Did you
hot.
kind of shake him a little bit and say, hey, listen, let's change our schedule here a little bit?
yeah, we might have had a few conversations, and
All right.
we talked about how we have to adjust our approach to scheduling based on where we are. So yeah, Nick works very hard at that. Scheduling is not as easy as you think. There's a
was gonna
lot,
say,
a lot of work
yeah,
that
I
goes
wouldn't
into
want to
that.
do it.
And he really did a good job this year, I thought, probably getting our schedule where we needed to be.
Hey, do
The
we
year
have any
before-
Pittsburgh games? Anything coming my way?
Well, we play. I believe we're out at Westminster. Is probably the closest to you.
All right, I'm
which
there.
is
That's easy.
Which is another new, and you're north, so that's another new team on the schedule.
Ooh, I'm gonna rally the troops down here.
Yeah.
We're gonna come. We're caravanning.
So
Tom, I'm gonna do an on-site. We'll have a little pregame party and
yeah, we've kind of shuffled through the non-league. You're going to see a bunch of different teams.
Well, I like it. I like new teams. I was getting bored with those old teams.
But to be truthful, the year before was on the head coach because we honored the contracts we had and returned the games that we should have. And honestly, probably should have stepped out of a few of those based on where we were going to be. But again, now, hey, listen, the A's in the barn on those. We've had those experiences now. Seth knows that a lot of it is now you know what it looks like, period. And that's the level you're going to work to. And there's a lot of context for practices. And when we're watching tape now and we're putting together our off-season clips to prepare for the season, and this is what it looks like. And if you can execute against these guys in this way, you're going to have this level of success. I mean, it's pretty simple. So a lot of times that's a faster way to get there instead of kind of kidding yourself and going that way. But we're going to certainly test that theory out now, and we got to get going. So hopefully we're in shape. Hopefully we learn some lessons from that. Like Seth said, I think coming back and, when guys come back here this next year, you in or out, right? Like the year of, do I want to do this or not? Now, what are you going to do? And part of, if you're running all those hills and doing all that stuff, it's a little harder to give up, right? A little harder to not be all in. Why are we doing this if we're not going to go do it? And it becomes more about others than yourself because you put so much work. It's kind of ironic how it works that way, but the more you put in, the more it becomes about, hey, we got to have some success here as a team instead of the other stuff.
Well, Seth, we appreciate you coming on. We're going to see you at the alumni game, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Making a point. Thanks for having me on, guys. This was fun.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, and anytime throughout the season you want to jump on, give us your 2 cents.
Yeah,
we'll do.
We need it. We need it.
Open invite.
We do have an analyst spot available, so
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. All right, fellas, we got some exciting news coming. I'm not going to give it all to you yet, but Juniata Men's Basketball Podcast, which is part of the Merrick Studio Network.
Yeah.
We got a lot of good things coming up very, 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 very soon.
So we are getting Bradley Cooper?
We are getting some big guests that are across the network of shows. We're going to come out hard in this fall. We got a whole new lineup of shows. I can give you a couple quick hits. Number one, I got a guest coming on Glossy, one of our other shows, who's a 4-time Super Bowl player. I have another guest coming on that was both an Olympian and an NBA champion. We got some big guests. Coming on Glossy. So you just stay tuned.
All right.
It's all gonna benefit all of Merrick Studios.
That's fabulous.
Which we are a big part of.
Yes, we are.
That's right.
I'd say we're the linchpin of Merrick.
I think we are the linchpin.
I would say so.
Follow the show on Instagram at Juniata Basketball Show. Subscribe to the Juniata Men's Basketball Show on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Leave us a comment on Instagram. Until next time, I'm Tom Frank.
Best.
I'm the head coach, Coach Curley.
That was good.
Are you at the beach right now?
No, this is my basement. I don't really have a good spot to do these kind of podcasts.